Good morning, everyone. My name is Melissa Reese, and I have been a teacher for the past 5 years. I have taught in a traditional public school in 2nd grade for 2 years, and I have taught at a Montessori public school in grades 1 through 3 for 3 years. My favorite thing to teach has always been reading. I did not grow up learning phonics, and since I have learned it as an adult, it has become exciting and fascinating for me to teach, and I believe I bring that joy to my students' learning as well. Today we are going to break down the different components of reading, instructional strategies for each one, and how they connect to writing. We will also discuss assessments, resources, and what I can do to help. So let's get started. The 5 components to reading are phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. Phonemic awareness is the ability to identify and manipulate individual sounds or phonemes in spoken words. This is the necessary basics for reading and writing. Without knowing the individual letter sounds, you cannot move on to blending them to sound out new words or identify the necessary sounds you hear for when you attempt to write the words you are thinking. Phonics is when we begin to blend the sounds, letter groups, and syllables. This is when you take each individual sound and combine them to form the word you are reading or trying to write. Fluency is the ability to speak and also write with understanding, not only so that you know what you are reading and writing, but so that others that hear you or read what you wrote understand you as well. Vocabulary is the ability to understand what the words you are reading or writing mean. This is important and goes along with fluency and comprehension as well. If you do not understand the words you are using, it will not make sense when you are writing to you, and you will not be able to comprehend if you do not know the meaning of the words while reading. Lastly, comprehension is understanding the entire text. Whether you are reading a text and can follow along, or writing a text that is coherent, being able to understand the meaning of a full sentence or paragraph shows true understanding of the language. Now let's look at some teaching strategies for these components as well. Firstly, a fun way to teach phonemic awareness is through rhyming. Reading a story that rhymes or a matching game with words that match if they rhyme can be fun and engaging activity for your students. Secondly, according to literacy ideas, phonics can be taught through I spy. Instead of saying the letter, say, I spy with my little eye something that begins with k, and say a sound rather than a letter. If you wish to work on letter recognition rather than sound, simply hold up the letter itself quietly. Thirdly, fluency can be taught through repeated readings, so the students become more familiar with the materials. I often have the students record themselves each time so they can hear how they improved and how they sound to others as well. Next, I like to have the students draw a picture of what a word means to them for vocabulary work. This allows them creativity and a big contrast than just thinking of the word. This way, they can see it. Lastly, if the students can summarize what they have read, then they fully comprehend the material. However, if the students are struggling with that task, having them sequence it appropriately can be a great stepping stone in the right direction. I'm also going to give you some fun ways to teach writing as well. For motivation, I will often have my students type on the computer. They still get the practice, but can use technology as well. However, if I want the students to focus on adding details, then I will have them draw a picture first and then describe what is happening in the picture. I always state whatever you want to tell me so that I will know. Write it. Now, although I know it can be exhausting and time-consuming, testing is so important to get accurate data for your students. Whether you want to know if your teaching methods are helpful or if the students are improving, testing is the answer. I would do weekly spelling tests that are at an appropriate level for each student, not each grade or classroom, but at the right level and skills for each student. According to the research at University of Bergen 2019, weekly spelling tests better capture the students' abilities to read accurately. I believe that reading and writing skills go hand in hand, and that to be an effective reader, you will also need to be an effective speller, which will lead to effective writing. Another testing assistance can be a rainbow word test. This will allow you to see what sight words the students can understand and often goes along with the students' reading levels. Lastly, keeping track of their reading levels while in small group guiding reading as well. An online resource that can be helpful to you throughout your teaching is our Pathways to Reading curriculum. There are online videos for clarification, extra resources, and models of lessons for teachers and for students. Pathways is dedicated to teaching sounds and letter relations, which Alphabum 2013, explains that learning the mappings between orthography and phonology enables students to read words they have not seen before and eventually to recognize many words by sight. This will increase the students' reading and writing skills. There are also different blogs and associations you can join online that gives you assistance from teachers worldwide. There's also ways that I can assist you in your classroom as well. I can come model lessons you may find tricky or test individual students that you may not have accurate information for. If you need anything at all, you can always stop by and ask, and I will try my best to assist you in any way that I am able. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.